Meet Kevin, who in January of this year was concussed in his room, scrolling TikTok, when he came across a video from yours truly about copywriting. Just 8 months later, Kevin is now making over $30,000 a month with freelance copywriting. And you're probably thinking to yourself, how is it possible to go from literally $0 and knowing nothing about copywriting to making a doctor's salary in less than a year? It's exactly what Kevin's going to reveal in today's video, so grab some popcorn and enjoy the show. We got Kev. We got
What's
me.
up, brother?
We're hanging out, bro. How are you?
I'm doing good, dude. How are you? Happy to be here.
Dude, good. Your life has gotten pretty good recently.
It's been all right. I got no complaints.
I got some questions that I'm going to ask you that people are going to love in a second. But do you want to just sort of give us a quick overview of where you're at right now, sort of in your life, maybe in terms of your geography, and then financially?
Yeah. So just recently, about a month ago, I moved to North Carolina from the Midwest, graduated college, and because of some stuff that we'll get into in a couple minutes, I've been able to do all this crazy stuff, make these moves, and really just on my own for the first time. And it's all thanks to the stuff that I've learned and the stuff that I've been able to implement in my life. So yeah, excited to get into a little bit about how you guys have been able to help me and why I'm at where I'm at.
Let's go. And you're 21, right?
22.
You're 22?
Yes, sir.
Better. All right. So how much are you currently making as a freelance copywriter right now with everything you're doing? I'll include the numbers from the last couple days too, as of basically Monday.
All right. As of basically Monday, I just broke the 30K a month mark. So sitting at like 31.5 it should be a month. And I started copywriting, consistently in about January. I heard about it for the first time in November. If you want me to go back and kind of tell that story a little bit, I was sitting in my room, just got a concussion. I had nothing better to do. So I was just flipping through TikTok and I came across one of Mason's TikToks talking about copywriting. And I was like, who is this kid? I thought that he could be just one of those other make money online course selling type guys. But then I had nothing else to do. So I did a deep dive into all of his content and I was like, wait, I grew up loving writing. I think I'm okay at it. I think I have an okay personality that I can put into my writing. So I just learned each and every little thing that I could about it. Went through the course progressions and I really tried to give my all at every step of the way. From there, just started creating relationships. When I had opportunities, I tried to take them and absolutely run with them. And it's really been the last 4 months or so that I've seen things just completely turn around for myself and be able to live the life that I'm living today.
You're 22 making 31.5 a month. What does that feel like?
Dude, if I'm going to be honest, it's because it happened so quick. And I don't mean that to come off in any sort of way, but it was kind of like 10K, okay, 20K less than 2 months later. It was just a fast adjustment. I'm still the same person that I was 4 months ago, but I just have more freedom. There was times when I would go to the gas station, I wouldn't fill my car up all the way because I didn't want to spend all that money at one time. And it's just like when you get to that point, certain things become an afterthought, and it sounds so dumb to say, but just the simple things are just so easy now. And it's not like I'm blowing money left and right. Like, yes, I love spending money. I love buying, the linen, all that kind of stuff. But it's just like life feels less stressful now. And I'm here because I just took what was taught to me and I implemented it, because it was either this or go get a normal job, which I was like, absolutely not. No way in the world I could go do that because it just wasn't for me. I knew that there was always something else that I was meant to do, and I just had to figure it out.
Dude, yeah, the gas thing is funny because I still don't fill my tank.
Really?
Even now, I always put in $30 at a time because I don't know why. It's just I'm trained from when I was broke to just not put that much in my tank at any given time.
Yeah. Well,
There's
dude,
literally no logical reason, but I still do that.
You got the T-Rex. That thing probably costs $120 to fill up all the way.
It's 200.
Are you serious?
Yeah, in Canada it's like 200. So,
Oh, you guys got
well,
the gas
yeah,
in
no,
liters, right?
yeah, liters. Um,
Liters.
yeah, dude, 31.5 is actually insane. I think you've kind of proven to me like what is possible for a student to do because like, dude, for me to get to 30K a month, I think it took me like almost a year and a half. It was so it was a long time, but like you also jumped really fast. Like you just got it down now. Like you just understand so well how to pitch clients and what to do. Because I remember we talked like a month ago and you were at 20K.
Hmm.
Now you're 30K. Like you just added 11,500. That's 140,000 ish a year that you just added to your top line in a month,
Hmm.
which is crazy. So like, dude, first of all, hats off to you. Like, yeah, I think you're just crushing beyond belief.
Thank you.
And the reason I love telling your story so much is because when you started in the inner circle with April, or in April, you were at how much per month?
I think I was at like one something, like maybe 1 to 3 inconsistently because I was doing like one-off stuff, but nothing like on retainer super consistently back in April because I was still in college at that point. I was finishing up college, just trying to make money here and there, and I wanted to, by the time I graduated in May, have something coming in so that I could tell my parents, like, look, this is what I'm doing full time, because it's a job. It's not just me hoping that something happens. And so I had my little, piddly money coming in, and I was like, okay, I even at one retainer, you get the confidence to go out and say, I could do this 10 more times if I needed to. And then that's how the income grows. It's like in a normal job, to increase your earnings by 100 grand a year, you'd have to be at it for 20 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about freelancing and making your own way is if you want to make a
Now, a word from our sponsor today, which is me. If you want to get results like Kevin, I have a program called the Inner Circle where you can get mentored by me and by my coaches so that we can teach you how to be a copywriter who makes just as much money as Kevin, if not more. Okay, so if you're interested in learning directly from me how to go from zero to potentially $30,000 a month with copywriting, you know where to go. Click that link in the description. Back to the show.
100 grand more a year, you just have to harass like 50 more people in their Instagram DMs till they give you a shot. That's all it is. It's just pounding the pavement and making things happen.
I tell that to people all the time where like most people aren't used to the fact that you can get more than like a 10% raise per year. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you're working a regular job and you're making 70, like if you work really hard, maybe next year you can make 75 or 80.
Yeah.
But if you're a freelancer, like you're never really gonna have 3 or 4 months in a row where your income doesn't actually grow by at
Yeah.
least $2,000 or $3,000 monthly,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy to think about because like most people just don't get to experience that. They just like they stick with their salary and that's just what it is until the end of time,
Yeah.
until they either job hop or do something else. But your income is so flexible as a freelancer, which is so cool. But like, so I mean, when you're at 1 grand a month in April when you started with us, like you were in college, so it kind of makes sense that like you didn't have a ton of time, you weren't making a ton of money, but like what did you do differently like once you decided like all right, I'm taking this seriously, let's hit the ground, let's go.
Completely honestly, dude, it's have like 10x Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
Dude is a complete cornball sometimes, but one thing he has right is more volume will never do you like worse off. I was going from, between classes, maybe sending 2, 3 DMs a day to making sure I hit at least 10 to 20 per day. And then once I graduated, jacking it up to like 30. And if something isn't working for you, because like I had a DM script that was nothing before. So then I switched it, corrected course, and just started banging that out and split testing, you know, seeing what works for you. And dude, DMs are free. And one thing that I will say to whoever's watching this, I've never gotten a single client off of cold email. That doesn't mean that cold email doesn't work. That just means that I was hitting what worked for me and making sure that I just kept going and kept going. So if cold email works for somebody, that's great. I just didn't really put in the time to say like this is what I wanted to make work for me. But whatever you put your effort towards, it will work. Hormozy talks about the dice, like the 200-sided dice. If there's one green side to it and you keep rolling it, you're bound to hit green eventually. So, if you're DMing, if you're emailing, whatever you choose to do, the more you do it, it's bound to hit eventually. You just need to come across the person that needs your services at that point in time. So, yeah, it was really just increasing volume and talking to people. The few clients that I had, making sure that I did good work for them so that I was actually, worth my salt as a copywriter. And it just allowed me to keep going up and up, meet more people, making more connections, and eventually getting to where I am today.
What is it you think that made you successful so quickly? Because there's a lot of people that kind of started where you started and they're still crushing, like making 5 to 10K a month, but not everyone went from 1K in April to 30K in August. Like what happened there? Like why you? Like what is it about you that made that work so well?
So completely honestly, dude, I never like to brag on myself at all. It just makes me feel a little weird. But one thing I will say about myself, and that I think a lot of other people have going for them, is I think I'm an okay person to talk to. People generally tend to like me somewhat. So if before you are great at copywriting, if you're a good person and you can get people to like you, that can take you really far as well. So I think what helped propel me was I just played on what I had going for me before I started copy. I sought to learn from people, to listen, and people like to be listened to. So if I made them feel important about themselves and listened to the people that are ahead of me, try to show my personality to them, I think that can take people a lot further than they think. So, I mean, I tell people all the time that I talk to, I'm nothing special. I was a college student less than 6 months ago that was absolutely broke as a joke. So it's just doubling down on what you have going for you. Like Mason, I grew up loving writing and loving to talk to people. So I kind of just married those two things together and hit it as hard as I could when I graduated. So yeah, I'm just an example of, if you apply what people teach you, you will go as far as you want to go. And I think this is only, I've been at this for less than a year, like 10 months. And I think this is only the beginning of where I'm going to get to eventually. But anybody that is watching and feels stuck, if I could be a hard ass a little bit, you're probably not doing enough. There's always, always, always more that you can be doing. And that's not a negative. That's not to knock anybody. But it's not a coincidence that when I started doing more, I started earning more and making more connections, meeting more of the right people. So being consistent at something for a long enough time, I'm 100,000% grateful that I'm at where I'm at right now. And I expect it to kind of like taper off to an extent eventually. But for right now, I'm going to ride the wave until the wheels fall off and keep going with what I got.
Yeah, man. I think I know you don't want to brag, but like I'll brag on your behalf a little bit. There's a handful of people that I know, and this is what I always say with copywriting. Like I don't think it's reasonable to say that you can get to 100K a month with just copywriting. I think if you're just doing it yourself, it's going to be a lot of work. You can hire it out, I guess, but it's just still a ton of operational drag.
Yeah.
But the people who get to 30, 40K a month as a copywriter have kind of proven that they can do that with another business that's like less beginner level. Because copywriting is truly for beginners. Like people who are just starting out, it's meant for regular people like we started out to get to 5 to 15 and maybe 20 grand a month. But if you can get past that, that's the path to 100K a month, which is like kind of what's exciting. And so I'm absolutely positive that in the next year, you will be clearing $1 million a year just because of what you've learned doing this so far. And all of that's going to compound into a business where, maybe $1 million a year is just the start. Maybe it's 10 million a year. But like this is sort of like the gateway for people. And I always try and tell people that because it's the best skill to learn to sort of get yourself going in that direction so that you can enable yourself to make $1 million a year. You learn as you go. And I also wanted to ask too, because you were in a bunch of my programs. You joined Inner Circle in April. We got on a call where I think we talked for like an hour and a half. It's probably about a month and a half ago. I think that was when you were at like 11 grand a month or 12 grand a month or something like that. And then I gave you a couple of things to like, basically, what did you get from that call or from the experience, I guess, in Inner Circle so far? And like, how have you applied it to sort of get you like literally triple your income in a month and a half?
So the one thing I appreciate most about that um, that conversation that we had was, as much success as I've been able to achieve, I'm not great organizationally, but when I have a roadmap laid out clearly in front of me, I'm able to execute on that. So if I just have to pick things out of space, like, yeah, I'll get to it eventually. But the reason why mentorship has been so important to me and why, creating a relationship with you has been so valuable is because you've really just been able to lay things out for me. Like, look, this is where you're at right now. This is where you're going to be. You just need to do, XYZ. And for me, that XYZ was doubling down on what already worked. It wasn't anything, you didn't tell me like do anything radically different than what I was already doing. You just said like, this is how many people you need to work with, do more outreach, meet more people, and just keep going at what you're already doing. And through Inner Circle and through having access to you and being able to have conversations with you, I was able to just see that so clearly. And, you could think of it in whatever way you want, like the woo-woo way where it's like the money is already here, it's just making its way to me, or, this is just the map that I need to execute. Look at it however you want, but I had a clear vision of what I needed to do from that point on, and I just went after it. I didn't have school as an excuse anymore, as like, oh, I have class. I had nothing to take up my time besides this. So it was either I do this or I stay stuck. And I wouldn't consider 11K a month stuck. Like, I don't want to sound like that or anything. But to me, that wasn't my full potential.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a dream salary for like most people.
oh, dude, I
Most
was
people
so
would
grateful to
sell
get
their
that,
firstborn child.
and 10K a month now in entrepreneurship is looked at as like the holy grail, and anything beyond that is, shooting for the stars. So I just want to keep going up. And even at this point, I just want to keep going up. And I know that I will, because I've been able to prove it to myself thus far. And if I could do this in under a year, anything's possible.
Yeah, man. The real sauce, like the stuff I actually told you, let's gatekeep that. Let's not let anyone know
Yeah.
outside like what, because I mean, obviously, yeah, it's like do more of what's working, but there's two major things that work specifically for you that like I think. So what I said was both of those things together would get you to 30K a month probably by like the end of the year. You did only one of those things, and it got you to 30K a month in like a month and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah.
So
I
like
didn't know if I was.
if you actually do the other thing, then like you'll be at probably 150. So let's see what happens there.
Yeah. I didn't know if I was supposed to like name stuff by name. So
Don't tell them. Don't tell them. They gotta see it to believe it.
I'll keep it hidden.
Um, yeah, dude. So what would you say to someone who's on the fence right now? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are watching this and they want to work with the community. Like it's not even just me. It's like I have coaches in there and I have like star students who are all making money. Like for someone who wants to be a part of that and they're kind of on the fence, they're not really sure about it. Like what would you say to them?
So I would say to them that they're probably a lot like me. Scrolling through TikTok, scrolling through their Instagram feed, they find a kid named Cardinal Mason that's absolutely crushing it. And they're like, is this kid legit? I thought the exact same thing. 10 months ago, I was like, this kid is probably just spewing, garbage, trying to make a sale. But the thing is, I took the leap and I actually took a chance on Mason and his team and what they were teaching. And I will reiterate again for the people that are on the fence, I am not a special case. I joined like everyone else. I was not the first person to join any of his programs. I just hopped in and made the most out of it that I possibly could. So if you actually want to change your life, you can do all the TikTok searches, all the YouTube searches that you want, and you will find information. You'll figure it out, but you'll probably figure it out in 2-3 years. You get a mentor, you get somebody to teach you and show you the way, give you the sauce like Mason just said we can't talk about. That's cutting years out of your journey. If you want to go get a real job starting at like 50, 60K a year, you want to get to 300K in a year plus, that's going to take you 25 plus years of your life. I did it in 10 months because I had the right people showing me what to do. And if it sounds like I'm like pumping up the program too much, like this, that, and the third, it's because it works. You know, I would not be here if it was not for what I learned. So, you know, take that for what you will. You got to do it and see for yourself, because you can listen to me all you want, or you could join and implement the strategies that they teach yourself, and you can be the next success story. You'll see that it works.
Damn, bro, you got me blushing over here.
Red looks good on you.
Last thing, bro, real quick. Tell us, just try and paint a picture for what it feels like. Because, like, dude, you grew so fucking fast. Like, it's so insane. Like, the lifestyle change and the way that you feel, like, try and paint as much as you can about, like, everyone knows what it's like to be making no money, $1,000 a month. Like, everyone's been there. Everyone. And now you've 30x that in a few months. Like, what, like, how is your day-to-day change? Like, how is your emotions, like, everything? Like, what's going on in your head now and in your life?
So just yesterday, after we last talked, after I was writing some emails, I was future pacing and doing some used car shopping. A couple months ago, that was just something that I hoped for, and something that, you know, one day, and this is funny, kind of stupid, as soon as I started writing copy and learning how to do it, my dream cars have always been a Ford Raptor and a G-Wagon. And I got little toy versions of them on Amazon, and I put them on my desk next to my computer, so that every single day when I opened my computer, I would look, and it was almost like a little mini vision board. And just a couple months ago, that was completely like a pipe dream. You want to talk about lifestyle change? And, you know, now looking at stuff like that, like actually shopping for them, that's not something that's out of reach anymore. So it's all about making yourself feel that it is actually possible, because I promise you it is possible. You know, a couple months ago, and even this small detail, you know, I was shopping at Aldi for all my groceries, and now, like, going to places like Whole Foods and Sprouts and stuff like that to buy stuff, it's like, it's the norm. So even the quality of life increase on being able to, you know, shop for high quality groceries and get yourself nice clothes, you know, wearing the linen, wearing whatever it is that you want, and not having to worry about it, you know. And even if you're in that like college mindset, going to the bars and being able to buy your buddies a round of drinks, you know, that feels awesome. And they look at you like you're this superhuman because you were able to achieve what you've achieved. So it is really cool, and I've never been one to like flex anything like that. I do this stuff because it makes me feel good that I'm actually able to now. So lifestyle increase, yes, it definitely comes with it. And it's a perk of the job. So you want to make something of yourself, go ahead and make something of yourself. It's completely up to you. You want to invest in mentorship, do it, and you'll be so much better off than you were if you didn't. You know, if you think that you're above that, you think that you don't need it, good luck. See you at this point in 5 to 10 years when it's not even an option anymore. You know, stay broke. No, I'm kidding, but it really is worth every single dollar that you can put into it, because I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for the program and for the people that have been able to teach me through it. So big thank you to you, Mason. Thank you to everybody that I've met through you. Onward and upward from here.
Banger, bro. Where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram at Kevin, my incredibly complicated last name. On Twitter, not ampersand. And TikTok is also going to be not ampersand coming soon. So thank you so much.
Good shit. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, brother.